how our kitchen is different from the average person? There's a lot of ways. Most people don't have mice and rats in their refrigerator.
Well, this obviously is my kitchen, and this is where my wife and I fix our meals and stuff. But it's also, the rehab facility. The kitchen table is our surgical table that we work on. This is where we thaw out the food for the animals, which is basically this is the frozen mice, and this is frozen pigeons that are being thawed out, and we load this up with lots of rats and mice in the freezer here to keep the animals, little pinky mice for the smaller birds. And this is our meat drawer, and the purpose for the meat drawer is, again, not meat for us, it's meat for the animals. And so that's just thawed out food ready for the afternoon feeding.
His freezer's outside at least full of rats and mice, but he still uses our freezer in here, and he'll bring some things in and he thaws things out in the fridge. And, so yeah, we have rats and mice in the fridge. Years ago he used to thaw them out on our windowsill in the kitchen, but now we've got a swamp cooler in there, so it doesn't work. And in fact, right after I had my son Glenn, he's what, 32 now? Something like that. I got sick a month or two after he was born. I was real sick, and when I came out of the hospital, my mom came and helped out for a while, and I was snoozing on the couch in the living room. And she was in here doing dishes and cleaning up and everything, and all of a sudden I heard her scream really loud. She went screaming and says, "There's a rat, there's a rat!" And she ran out the front door. So no, most people couldn't handle it. But it's like, oh, Martin's just thawing out food for the birds.
This mice and rats in by the thousands to feed the injured wildlife that we care for. And I have a pigeon breeder that donates us. They're called pigeons, so we get a lot of pigeons in here. See if they're rats. And so, every day we have to thaw out enough food for the animals that we're caring for. And so it goes from the freezer here into the kitchen, because my house is our rehab center, and so dead rats in the refrigerator is a common sight here at my home.
So yeah, to me that's not a big deal, but I'm not a fancy housekeeper. I'm not into housekeeping and cooking and stuff that much. I mean, once in a while I enjoy cooking, but not that much. So Martin doesn't get fancy meals and stuff, and I can share my fridge with the critters.
This is just basically, how we live. We have lots of animals to care for, and this is our rehab center that we are, and where we do minor surgeries and do our IVs and feeding tubes and all that kind of stuff. So
my son had a birthday sleepover once. We have a basement, and we call it the dungeon, and it's unfinished, but I think we had a couch down there and some carpet and a clear enough area that the kids could go downstairs, and we had a TV down there, and they could watch videos all night or until they fell asleep. And I got up the next morning, I was coming in, and I was starting to cook breakfast for the boys. And these are teenagers, and you know how teenage boys are always starving to death? You can buy them pizza, you can give them all kinds of food, it's never enough. And one of his friends, I think Quentin, called him Q, he was in the kitchen while I was fixing breakfast talking to me, and he says, "I had the scare of my life last night." I says, "What'd you do?" I says, "Did you come upstairs for a snack?" And he's like, "Uh-huh." And I says, "You opened the refrigerator, didn't you?" "Uh-huh." He says, "There was something staring back at me."
Well, welcome to my kitchen, and these are mice, and I'm preparing them for a baby great horned owl that just came in about an hour ago, and we need to get them chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to warm them just the tiniest bit in the microwave, so that because they're a little cool from being in the refrigerator. And then we're going to go outside and see if I can get that little owl to eat a little bit.
My amazing husband cooks me breakfast every day. Bacon and eggs for me, and sausage and eggs for him, and lucky wife that he takes care of me as good as he does.
Our house is our rehab center. And the point of the Cedar Canyon Nature Park is to be able to develop a permanent wildlife rescue center and move all of this out to the Cedar Canyon Nature Park, where we'll have a fully staffed vet clinic and be able to do everything out there. Hopefully be able to get my home back at some point in time in my life.